Hello everyone, it's Nady, and today we'll be testing out the Nars Soft Matte Foundation and Concealer. As you beautiful people know, this is about the products, not the people behind them. Any tiff you may have with them, please cast it away because this is a channel of positive energy. Okay? Thank you. Oh, my sensual little thirst traps, how you doing today? I hope wherever you're at in the world, you are having a marvelous day so far. I'm a busy little bee doing housework today. I'm cleaning it from head to toe, doing a bunch of laundry, so if you hear it banging in the background, it's not my neighbors having a good time without me, it's my laundry. But I've been on a foundation kick lately. Like, we found so many great ones. We've also had ones that are absolute shite. And I don't really know much about this. I've not seen any reviews so far, so let's go ahead and hop over to Sephorah's website and we can see what people are saying about this. It looks like the foundation has about 4 out of 5 stars and it retails for 40 bucks. That's not too terrible. It's a 16-hour oxidization-resistant foundation that balances oil while maintaining a hydrated skin-like finish. It protects from pollution and blue light with full coverage. My god, I just launched the biggest spitball that way. Oh, says it's perfect for every type of skin. Do I believe that? Not for a damn second. But we'll see. I personally have like dry patches with like normal skin on the rest of my face. I did put on a really good face oil about 2 hours ago, so it should be sunk in, but my skin is nice and soft and juicy. It's free of sulfates, SLS, SLES, parabens, formaldehydes, formaldehyde releasing agents, phthalates, mineral oil. My god, does this have anything in it? This isn't gonna be like that Becca bullshit where it's just clear, is it? I wanted clear bullshit in a tube, I'd go to a sperm bank. Let's go ahead and look at the lowest and highest reviews just in case there's any little tips and tricks on this. Let's start with the lowest, which says not worth it. This person had trouble blending it with a brush. They even used a sponge and a few hours later it did not look that good. Not great at all. It's very thick and full coverage. You do not need very much or else you'll look cakey very quickly. That's actually very good to know because I go in like I'm painting a fucking oil canvas. Dry as the desert and it does oxidize. I'm confused as to why this has any good reviews. Don't believe the hype. Honestly, I didn't even know there was hype on this. I think I saw it on Trendmood like 3 weeks ago and that's it. Another person that says it absolutely does oxidize. Let's look at some higher ratings. This is a banger. I'll be using it daily, but it does oxidize. I love it. Wore it to the beach today. Put it on at 8 a.m. It's the middle of the day and still look great. I have normal to dry skin and this foundation does not cling to any dry patches like other foundations do. That is the exact issue that I have. So we will definitely be putting that part to the test. It reminds me a bit like the Dior Face and Body. Oh my god, that's my favorite foundation. Stop what you're doing and get this foundation. It doesn't look like cake face. All right, so let's dive into this. I only ordered 1 shade of each because this stuff is kind of pricey and hopefully it'll match me. Oh, that is light. Damn, now I kind of hope it oxidizes. That is shade medium, 1.2 medium, bitch, where? And then I did get a light concealer because I really do like to highlight. This is light 2.75. Oh, come on, you little hoe. What the shit? That actually looks deeper than the foundation. Oh, maybe not, but they are really fucking close. Like, I do not think I'm gonna be able to highlight this, but we'll see. Let me just feel this. Oh, yeah, that is very, very thick, and it actually looks super dry on my finger. And I think I want to try it right there. I've had this little demon there for quite a while now, and no concealer or foundation that I've tried recently has even covered that. So let me just spot conceal first, and oh, okay. Add a little bit more right there. The more that I tap it, it actually does kind of form into your skin, but it's also quite dry. Like, I can tell that I have something there, but it did conceal it a tiny bit. I definitely do see quite a bit of dryness happening though. You know what? Since this coloring is kind of on the fucked up side, I think I'm actually gonna take this concealer under my eyes before the foundation. So let's try this, and I'll try it on this side to see how good it covers up. Oh. Fuck. Wow, that actually looks really damn good. Even with that oil there, like my under eye looks hella dry. But also, it did a really good job at concealing. I feel as though if I use this and then like my 100% Pure Bamboo blur powder or my Hourglass blurring powder, that would probably take away the dryness and make it look really, really good. I do want a little bit more coverage, so I'm just gonna take the teeniest tiny amount right there. These lights are absolutely magic, and on camera, my skin might look great and flawless, and I get so many compliments. It is all lies, honey. Like, I look just like anybody else. And so it might not look super dry and you might not be able to even see the purple on camera, but in person, I still can. That's kind of where the trust tests come in because the camera might lie, but I promise you I will not. Now that I added up a little bit more on top of that, I think it actually looks better. Like, it's not as dry. What do you think? We can see the difference between the two sides. This side just looks a little bit healthier, almost like too perfect, like you can tell you're wearing concealer. But knowing that I'm going in with foundation over this, I do want them to look porcelain, and I think I just decided that I'm only gonna conceal this side under the foundation, and then this side I'll conceal over the foundation. Oh wait, I didn't even look up the specs on the concealer. The concealer retails for $30 and actually has 4.5 out of 5 stars. And there's actually quite a few shades in both the concealer and the foundation, and they do go pretty light and they do go very deep. The concealer is a full coverage, oil-free concealer that conceals and blurs imperfections with a soft matte, natural looking finish. It definitely is matte, and typically matte does look pretty dry on my skin, but with the setting powder that I use, I can totally use a matte foundation and it just blurs the dryness, so I don't mind. They say to warm the product between your fingers and pat over imperfections. It's exactly what I did, and you can kind of tell you have to do that because it is like a cream pot. The lowest reviews say it's very, very dry and you need an oil texture to make it workable to blend. The concealer was so drying and patchy on me, couldn't wear it all day under the eyes, it just didn't work, had to return it. Okay, so pretty much everyone here agrees that it's dry, even I said that. This person says it's an incredible concealer, totally worth the price, however they do have very oily skin. Glides on beautifully, especially with a brush. Okay, so it sounds like the main issue here is that it does crease and it's very dry. We already know that. Like, I can tell you just right now, it's starting to break up. It's very, very creasy. However, I do almost always have to use a setting powder, so I'm really not surprised that it's creasing, and I don't think it's creasing like too terribly. Like, it's not yet a deal breaker. So let's go ahead and apply this foundation. There really aren't many directions on this, and the only directions they do have, they don't tell you what tools to use. And I think for this video, on this half of my face, I'm gonna use a foundation brush, and then on this half of my face, I'm gonna use a makeup poof. Oh god, this is so scary. It's so light. I guess let's just apply a little bit to the back of my hand so it kind of warms up. Oh my gosh, once it's out of the tube, it is quite a bit deeper. Not that I mind, I'm actually very glad that it's deeper. Cue the timeless joke, the deeper the better. All right, so here we go. Ooh, oh my god. You can like instantly tell that it has so much coverage. Holy shit. And I really didn't apply very much. Like, I did squirt a good bit out on my hand, but most of it is still on it, so you really don't need very much. And it even blends in the beard fantastically, though. It does dry quite quickly, and I can already see that it's oxidizing. Like, you can tell along the edge right here that it's getting darker. Oh my gosh, this is oxidizing really badly, actually. I don't know if you can see, but like where it's drying around here and around the edge that I applied it, it's starting to turn orangey and brown. But I actually don't mind the way it looks on my skin. Like, I know this is matte, and yes, it is amplifying my texture the slightest bit, but it's really not that bad. I will say though, this is definitely enhancing any little wrinkles that I have, especially on my forehead. Like, if I just go like that, they kind of stick, so I have to stipple it back out. I'm hoping maybe if I powder it, maybe it'll kind of set into place and not wrinkle. Nobody wants their face to look like a wrinkly-ass ball sack. But yes, there we go. I do really like the way this looks so far. I'm not sure, though, if I just wiped away the concealer or if this kind of melted it, but it doesn't seem as concealed as it did before, right? But yes, what do you think? There we have that side, there we have that side. Clearly there's a difference. Like, this side just looks better. I actually noticed that if I set it on my skin and then go back in and like stipple it, it gets more natural looking and the dryness just seems to like disappear. Well, not disappear, but my skin just looks a little bit smoother after doing this. Yes, you can totally see all of the little texture. Again though, I did use a full face exfoliator. I also used my round brush and I put on face oils. So had I not done that, I do think this probably would look quite a bit worse. So if you do have skin that's on the drier side or do have little patches, you might not like this. Or if you do exfoliate and do all that shit that I did, maybe you would. I know that I personally don't want to have to like peel the first layer of my skin off just to make a foundation look good. But anyways, let's go ahead and try it on this little poof, and I'll add about the same amount, which I feel like it was around there, maybe a little bit more. All right, we'll go in with that amount. This is a very, very liquidy formula, but I don't really mind that. It just kind of means it'll spread out a little bit easier. I think I liked the brush side more because I just got a little bit more coverage. Or maybe I'm just tripping myself out because I did put that concealer on the other side. Or maybe I even used more on this side. I really don't know. So this side with the poof looks more natural. It's not as dry, but I don't think I got as much coverage because I do have pretty much equally red skin right in this area. And on the brush side, I really can't tell that there's redness, but on this side, I can. But then this side, it actually does look looking really good and beautiful. So I kind of feel like if you want more coverage, maybe use a brush. If you want less, either use one of these or a sponge. I'm gonna take a little bit more and try to build this side up. Hopefully it won't turn into cake face. I think I did end up using less the first time I went in with this, and that's why it looked more natural, because now that they have like the same amount of coverage, they do look pretty equal. Both sides do look good, but you can tell that I have texture on my skin. What do we think? I don't think it looks that bad. Like, yes, it is definitely a matte foundation. It's kind of on the drying side, and I almost feel like if you want a lighter coverage foundation, to maybe mix this with your moisturizer instead of directly applying it to your face. Let me try concealing again. I'm gonna apply a little bit to my hand to try to warm it up. I think somebody said using a brush makes it look magical, so let's try it over here with a brush. It's really not doing much because it's so difficult to pick up with a brush. Just gonna dip right into the little pot. All right, now let's give it a try. Ooh, there we go. Okay. You know what? I think I might actually be able to highlight with this. Let's blend this out with my little poof poof. It does blend out pretty nicely, but it is seriously on the matte side, so my under eye just looks like a fucking desert and is like crying for hydration. But still, I think I like the side where I put it underneath my foundation better. What do you think? This side with it underneath, this side with it over? Does it even look any different? I think just to even things out, I'm gonna take a little bit under here just to highlight, because I am filming a couple videos today. Don't wanna look too crazy on camera. Okay, so before I powder, this is what it looks like. My under eyes look so fucking dry and creasy. But is it the worst thing we've tried? No, in fact, I don't think this is that bad. Like, creasiness and dryness aside, it's not awful. Like, I would be the first to tell you if it were. And I think what's probably gonna sell me or break me is doing the wear time test. But before we do that, let me go ahead and powder this up. For the under eyes, I'm gonna go in with some Hourglass translucent powder. I love this stuff so much. And I'm gonna really press this into place and try to eliminate those creases. And actually on the rest of my face, I'm just gonna use the same powder and lightly dust it on. All right, let's see how we look. Yes, it did kind of cling to my dry patches, not terribly, but I do think that powder helped. I am still texture city though. I wouldn't call it cakey, but you can definitely tell that you have a lot of foundation on and like a full coverage foundation. Did I just like miss that area? No, oh my gosh, it's really oxidizing around my beard. Yeah, so I don't love it. It's not terrible. Like, if you did have oily skin, you probably would really like this, but if you have like even normal to dry skin, I don't know that I'd really recommend this, unless you are like the queen of hydration and really know how to make your skin suck up all the juices you want to really prep it. But yes, here we go. What do you think? Does it look good on camera? Does it look bad on camera? I think from like 3 feet away, it looks pretty good, but I don't know that I would be comfortable wearing it out in public just because of this area's texture. Oh my God, in this eye, it is creasy. This side looks really, really good where I put the concealer down first, and I did apply a little concealer over that, but it is not nearly as awful looking as this side. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this a few hours and do a wear time test. I have a palette that I'm gonna be filming with, so I'm sure I'll come up with 2 different eye looks. Don't judge me or do whatever, but I will see you at the end of the day. All right, my loves, it is the end of the day. I've had this on for several hours, and I am ready to take this shit right the fuck off. It's not like it's uncomfortable or anything, but I am noticing quite a few things happening. Okay, so first of all, at no point did it ever really feel as though there was anything on my face. Like, for being a full coverage foundation, this does feel extremely lightweight. And now that my face is all done up and I have contour and everything on, I really don't think it looks that bad, but I do still have quite a bit of texture in my drier areas. And I don't really know if you'll be able to see it, but right here, it oxidized so weirdly. There's like stripes of brown, and it just doesn't look good. Like, that part is missing right there, as well as the end of my nose, which is odd because I've not really touched it, rubbed it, or done anything with it. This area right here is really accentuated with the dryness, but everywhere else, I don't mind it. The concealer, it's okay, but it's really nothing more than that. I do think this side looks way better than this side. I don't know how it looks on camera, but when I put that concealer underneath, I think that's probably the best way to apply it if you use this. Putting it over the foundation just made things seem really dry, really cakey, and just not sexy at all. So if you do use the concealer, I totally recommend really, really hydrating before, either with a hydrating primer, with oil, with cream, with whatever will give your skin what it needs to make this this look okay. Even with the oil that I added to my skin, it didn't look the best, but I could totally see this working for somebody with oilier skin. If you have dry skin, stay the fuck away from this. Like, don't touch it with a 10-inch peenie, 10-foot pole. And honestly, the same kind of goes for the foundation. Like, my skin is just like on the cusp of where it would look shitty versus where it doesn't. And so it just looks alright. Like, I could live with this, but for the same price, I would also rather have my Dior backstage. But then again, this foundation really doesn't accentuate my marionette lines. My forehead does have a little bit of creasing, but it's not awful. And so I'm kind of really fucking torn with this because it is matte, but it doesn't look overly matte. And it is full coverage, but it didn't really give me cake face, at least with everything else on. And I think from a little bit of a distance, it looks beautiful and magical on my skin. Like, this looks flawless. But do know that it does kind of oxidize funny. Like, I don't know that I would use the concealer in that foundation again together. I would probably use the foundation and then more of a hydrating concealer, and hopefully that would kind of balance shit out. But separately, I like them, but I don't love either of them. It might look banging on your skin, and that's the beauty of makeup, I guess. Do I think they're worth the price? You do kind of get a shit ton of concealer, and if you're only gonna spot conceal with it, you will never need another one of those. The foundation, I kind of feel like we could get better, but even after several hours of use, I'm not oily, I'm not shiny, other than the highlighter that I added. So I don't know. You're able to see how it looks. You kind of gotta make a decision with this one. I'm sorry. So yes, there you go. I'm sorry I wasn't able to be a little bit more detailed. This was kind of a tough one. This is kind of one of those videos where you end up having to be the judge of things. But that's why we film in HD, honey. Anyways, there you go. Thank you so much for being here. I absolutely always love having you. And if you want to join me on lives, I did start a second channel. I'm going to start doing lives on there. It's called PopLux Live. I will link it to you down below. And if you want to support me and my channel just a teensy bit more, please feel free to join us on Patreon. It's patreon.com/poplux. There you get videos a day early, Patreon only content. It is fun, fancy, and fresh, just like me. And like always, please be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell down below so that you're notified anytime I upload new video. Don't forget my newest collection of highlighters, including Black Ice, which does change from black to white, is available at thepoplux.com. Also, my latest album, Kiss of Fame, is available everywhere online that music is sold. Thank you so much to everyone who's supporting them. Comment down below, let me know what you thought of this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Snapchat, Instagram, and Twitter at officialnady, and you can follow me online at thepoplux.com. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all, and I will see you again soon. Bye!